Hey everybody from Wine About It, and I'm happy to finally talk to you one-on-one about my little secret. And you know what that secret is? It is saving time, because the other day I wasted hours trying to cancel my HBO Max subscription because it turns out I have 3 of them. Why I have 3 of them, I don't know. I assume Squeaks was using one of them. But today's sponsor has helped me out. It's Rocket Money, guys. I have a much easier way. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that allows you to manage subscription, lower bills, and make a custom budget and grow your savings all in one place. Take control of your finances today. Go to rocketmoney.com/wine to get started for free. Name a woman you hate.
Olivia Rodrigo.
Oh, that was
Doug.
Why?
Her music. Is she even a musician? I'm not kidding. Yes. I don't know who this is.
You're like Maya for white men.
Welcome to Wine About It. We're here with a very special guest, and it's Swift.
My guy.
Doug's also
and
here.
I walked in.
Yeah, get out. This is Swift's episode.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to find the bathroom in this.
You meandered. You're like, ooh, it smells like patchouli. Let me get over there.
DougDoug is here, everybody.
Did you get custom glasses for this?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I won't spoil the drink. Hello.
Hello.
I mean, you can. Do you want to introduce yourself first, or do you just want to be the guy?
Sure. I'm Doug.
Okay.
I am a streamer and content creator and also a podcaster. Wow.
Ooh, guys.
Very unique. And I do a lot of gaming things and now a lot of tech things. And I've kind of become a programming streamer, content creator, which is very bizarre and was
I
not
love
my intention.
programming.
What?
It's very cool.
What do you have as a white man that qualifies you to be in a podcast?
So unlike a lot of I have a lot of
microphone.
opinions about what's going on in the world.
Okay.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
I feel like people, I just want to, and what's also cool is it's like I have opinions I want to talk about them with my friends, but also have a little fun at the same time.
Yeah. I'd love to monetize it.
Yeah. And put ads every 5 to 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And then do extra episodes for our patrons.
Yeah.
Who really want to hang out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we did ask all of our guests what their favorite drink in the whole wide world is. And Doug said,
what
is your name Doug? Can I call you Doug?
Is your name Douglas?
Yeah. And I figured this would maybe be the one highbrow place I could possibly go to where people would call me by my real name.
Huge.
And you're already
Can I call
back
you
down
Douglas?
to Doug. Yes, you can. Thank you, Katie. So this is the finest bacon-flavored soda. It's made with bits of real bacon. Maybe. We didn't look. And it is apparently tastes just like bacon, except you get to drink it.
What do you mean apparently? Have you not had it?
No.
Doug, what the hell is wrong with you?
Well, you asked what drink I wanted to have, and this sounds awesome.
You just never had the opportunity to add it to your Amazon
Right.
cart?
Nobody ever has been like, hey, would you like any drink on the planet?
Why didn't you want a pina colada with a little umbrella?
God, are you guys excited?
He's ready to pass them out. We did get custom cups
That say bacon. You really
that
went all
say
out.
bacon, and this one even says liquid bacon.
Where did you get
eBay.
in bacon? Okay, so this is a common enough drink, I guess.
I don't think it's for
the smell
these.
is so gross.
Doug. I don't have to chase
Cheers! This is so great.
This is
Thanks for having me on, you guys. This is awesome.
Oh my god, I'm not being dramatic. Oh my god, it smells.
It smells like
Okay.
rotten Dr. Pepper. It tastes like bad Dr. Pepper.
Really?
That's my review. It is not good.
It doesn't taste like Dr. Pepper at all. There's nothing about that tastes
I'm
like
scared
Dr.
I
Pepper.
haven't tried
What is
it.
wrong with you? Why would you even say that?
The first 2 seconds is Dr. Pepper, and then
No.
it becomes like you're eating old meat.
It tastes
Old
like
meat.
it tastes like the outside edge of bacon that's really fatty and just grease. It just tastes like you're
Grease.
drinking
It smells.
grease.
Yeah, it tastes like burnt grease. It's Dr. Pepper into a burnt grease flavor. Have you had it yet?
No.
Why? We both have it.
I don't understand.
You have to. This is
I
what
feel
Doug
like
wants.
This is the big debate of whether this is more of a Dr. Pepper or a burnt grease kind of flavor.
I am the solution here. I am. Wow. Ew.
She's upset.
Guys, I'll put in the comment section the timestamp when Cutie finally drinks it, so you can skip ahead.
I'm going, white man.
That was the smallest.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Do you love it?
I hate it. It tastes like bacon bits soaked in water. It's like the salad bit and sugar on top of that. I don't know why.
It does taste a lot worse than normal bacon, to be clear.
Red Bull's good though. Red Bull's good. I haven't had a Red Bull since high school, and I was trying to be the hot girl with Red
This
Bull.
is different.
Wow.
This
Yeah.
is the vanilla one.
Ooh, yum.
Yeah.
Yum. I used to get
You
the
want some?
Monster Energy with little pink straw.
Good. I want to savor the flavor.
You don't
Let
want
it
to
really-
taste it.
You gonna finish that gift we got you?
It
That
would
was
be
my
really
money.
rude if you didn't.
Boy, I don't want to. I will
Oh.
finish my glass out of
Okay.
principle. I
No.
don't want to be rude. Actually, you know who might want some? Swift.
Swiffa.
She's on sugar free. There's no way. You really don't have to
Doug,
do this. You don't have
ew.
to do that, Doug.
Ew.
I don't want to be rude.
You don't want
You
to
don't have to
chase
do
it?
that.
I don't want to be rude.
You don't need to be brave for us.
God, they're gonna think I'm so cool in the comments. Wow.
He's so
He took 2
badass.
sips of baking soda.
He's done it. So, really though, you have a podcast now
I do have a podcast now
about business.
about business.
and shit.
Yeah,
What the frick do you know about business?
Yeah, idiot.
not much.
Oh.
Yeah. That's why, well, the pitch to the other two was like, hey, if you guys want like a guy to talk about tech, I'm down. So I angled myself as like the tech bro, and which I feel like I can do well. And then what I'm realizing is that I also need to give opinions about other things that I'm largely uninformed. And so I'm like
Yeah.
figuring out how much I need to confidently and brashly just say shit versus be like, I don't really know. Because like I don't know what the balance is. I don't know how much you want to be like come off as informed and confident versus just be like, I don't really know, but here's a guess. Because presumably that's not that entertaining to watch 3 guys just be like, who knows what's going on?
Yeah.
Maybe. Like, so that's the problem. I mean, we're like 8 weeks in, so it's like pretty.
Okay.
It's like pretty new. Yeah.
Whose idea was it?
Aiden's.
Who started the threesome?
Aiden.
Aiden?
Aiden. I guess
Okay.
he talked to Brandon, and then Brandon mentioned on stream. I happened to be watching, and then I just DM'd Brandon. I was like, can I join?
Oh, that's
cool.
fascinating.
Yeah, I just cold DM'd, and I was like, I feel embarrassed doing this, but fuck it.
Good
And then
for
it's
you.
worked out great. It's
Good
worked
for
out really
you.
good. Yeah.
That's so interesting. I didn't know that's how it started. I'm surprised. Aiden's so busy. I'm surprised.
I'm like learning. I'm getting to know Aiden a lot better through this, and I realize he just like is doing lots of things and just
Yeah.
excited about lots of things all the time.
He's very
He's my
excitable.
least favorite one on the yard.
Yeah, everybody's. And
Whoa.
I think the sense I get is he has wanted desperately to talk about more serious things.
Right.
And the yard has stamped those dreams of his like repeatedly every week. When there's a glimmer of that, he gets
Yeah.
taken back into the locker and like banged against it
Yeah.
and given a swirly.
They call it smear the queer.
Yes.
It's crazy.
But there's no smearing of that queer on our show.
That's awesome. That's
we're
nice.
purely listening to the queer.
Oh, it's like divorced
Wow,
parents.
that's so-
Yeah.
One is
so
nice.
brave.
Yeah. There was a joke about that, is that he made some comment on like the second episode where he was like, yeah, I was in an Uber and I was talking to the Uber driver. Yes, I talked to Uber drivers.
You guys
And he
were
just
like,
sat there for a second because
whoa.
Brandon and I didn't respond, and he was like, he has like PTSD and clearly thought. So Slime clipped it and put it on put on Twitter.
so
It was
funny.
like he's responding like a dog seeing a rolled up newspaper. Like he's been like, trained
so
to even comment
sad.
about innocuous things in his life. He has like these
so
visceral
sad.
reactions of people around him. It's
The
great.
worst part is like Slime's proud of that.
Yes, he looked at that as like a magnum
"I've
opus
done
as
it."
he saw his reaction. Yeah.
That's so funny. So what's been your biggest? So your biggest learning curve is when to like shut up, when to not.
I think so, yeah. And like learning stuff, because in theory we're like learning about all this stuff.
Yeah.
I've also learning, which I was mentioning briefly, like how to get. Turns out if you give opinions in a very passionate way, people take that a lot
sure.
more intensely. So there was an episode where I basically went on an emotional rant about my frustrations with San Francisco housing, which I used to live there and I grew up there and went to college there, and that.
He's digging himself deeper.
We cover that stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do talk
Anyway,
about the housing
I guess the
crisis.
way that I talked about it to many people revealed that I am right wing, which is very strange to me as somebody who is super not that. And so that's like
That's
a
awesome.
pervasive thing now, and it's very confusing to me. And so like that is like, on a serious note, that's the thing I'm trying to figure out of like, what about how I communicated gave that idea, and how much do I even want to try to stave something like that off versus just being myself and accepting that some people might misinterpret it, right? Like,
Right.
I don't know how much I should be like catering to a potential misinterpretation of, because and there's a balance, right? I obviously do have a responsibility to communicate well, but how much of that should, it's like weird. So
Cutie was revealed to be racist a couple weeks ago.
Really?
On this podcast.
Yeah, it was racist.
wow,
It was a big my bad.
I bet a lot of uninformed people will keep commenting that and not watch anything else.
Well, it's funny. It's funny because like we're all culprits of it. We've all seen a clip and been like, "What the hell did they mean by that?"
Right,
You
right.
know?
Yeah.
And it's funny because we even watched back the clip and we were like, what the fuck? And I know exactly what was going on in my head.
Yeah.
And it was like totally nothing to do even with what Maya was saying. But I came off in a racist way, unfortunately. But it's funny because the longer I've been doing podcasts, the longer I've been in the industry, the more I've just been like, man, if you think that, bummer. Like, you know, because it's just like so not true.
Right.
And like, okay. Like,
is that how you guys have dealt with it? Just over time, you're just like,
you're just so
it.
jaded.
What are you gonna make a TikTok and be like, I would just like to say I'm not racist?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. So like the next episode after that, I like did this 5-minute segment where I was like, I want to address some of these things and clarify them. And that was, I think, in part because I was like, what the fuck is going on? How am I feel like totally lost. But then again, like, do I do that for every comment and every mean thing? Like, no, right? You can't do that for everything. So like, what is the threshold at which you have to be like, whoa, I clearly did not communicate this well. I need to. So that's the thing. Like for the racist thing, did you acknowledge it?
No, I mean just in a joking way because it's just so ridiculous. I mean the TikTok got 1 million views.
Okay.
It was a TikTok
of you saying the thing.
Yeah, it was essentially. I mean, it wasn't like I didn't like say a slur. I wasn't like, bah! I mean, like it was. Maya was talking about black girl TikTok and dry brushing, and she's like, I saw a black girl TikTok, and this is their shower routine, and like I've never heard a lot of these things. And she brought up dry brushing, and my brain, because I end up on sadly eating disorders TikTok sometimes. They've got great hacks. Joke. /J. But
Good save.
I've seen.
Almost got clipped.
Thank you. I've seen dry brushing TikToks to help you lose weight and get rid of cellulite. And sure enough, this bitch bought it. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of myself. That's awesome. I don't need to work out. I just brush. It doesn't work. So as soon as I heard the word dry brush, I immediately go, nah, that's a hoax. But before that sentence, Maya said, black girl TikTok and dry brushing, and I say, nah, that's a hoax. And then Maya goes, I trust them. And then for the rest of TikTok, she keeps going on about the shower routine. I'm stuck in the hippy dippies that told me I lose 5 pounds if I do it. And so I'm just going,
She was like, nah, I don't like that.
Not like that. And then I'm like, oh, I understand why you would think I was racist based on that. Bummer. But like, I don't like, I'm not going to make a TikTok to like correct it or whatever. Cause it's just like, if you actually watch me for 5 minutes, you just know I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
yeah, no, it's like uninformed people who are not putting the effort to give good faith or get context.
Which,
right?
like, I don't think people, that's the thing that's interesting is people just don't seem to have the capacity anymore to constantly it's harder to have good faith and think, wow, that person probably didn't mean that.
One time I told people that fireworks were bad for wildlife because it scares and displaces wildlife, and they called me a communist.
Yeah.
That has to be kind of a joke, though, right? Because that's so obviously...
They were, like, threatening her life. Like, they were like,
wow.
We need to remove her from America.
I feel like that's because you're a woman, right? Like, if I said that, there's no way.
Well, if they said that, they would vote for you.
Yeah.
They'd be like, wait.
I don't know. I think there are people that will, like... people that want to misinterpret you, that always will.
Yeah.
No matter what. And then I think maybe the addressing it comes in where you're looking at it. Be careful though, because some people are really good at this, acting like they care and like being like, I love cutie butt. I think when you address it is when there are people that are like, that seem actually confused. They're like, wait a second. I feel like I'm surprised that he said this, or I'm surprised that she said this.
Yeah, it was funny because all of the comments on the TikTok of people that knew our podcast were like, that's definitely not what she meant.
Right.
Like,
and then people who want to be mad are mad, and they're never going to be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I misinterpreted you.
Yeah, it's like how Pokimane seems to have like a whole industry
she says,
about just hating.
Yeah,
it's very bizarre.
I think actually one of the worst things Pokey does is how often she addresses things because it's almost. I mean, it's not her fault, right? Like, it's just like, what do you do? What do you do? But it's like
generally nothing.
Sometimes,
unless you actually fuck up, right? Like,
I don't even know the stuff that they're mad at Pokey for until she says it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
No, the average person will not at all.
No.
Right.
No. Yeah. So it's a fascinating thing. Podcasting is definitely its own world, and it's interesting because streaming, you have such a fallback.
Yes.
Like, worst case scenario, you look around, there's someone who said something funny. You can jump off that. Or there's something to do in front of you.
I was going to say, well, this is because of Reddit. I feel so much safer podcasting than streaming. Like, I'll say stuff on Wine About It I would never say on my stream. Never. Because streaming, they clip and they put it on Reddit or they put it on, or they put it on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't happen with podcasting. Like, yeah, we have a TikTok in the comment section as people that don't know us because it blew up somewhere random.
Isn't that what happened to you though? Didn't you get clipped?
But that's not the same as like your
the
community
Reddit
and
stuff,
like Reddit communities and whatever the hell.
And people infiltrating your live stream. I had one person come into my live stream and be like, I heard what you said. And that's how I found out about it. I was like, what? They're like, that TikTok, you're racist. And I was like, what? I am? Huge news.
God.
My dad will be proud.
That's crazy to be told that from somebody else.
That is funny. It's like, okay. Like, I don't know. It is ours, but maybe we're talking, we kind of have ingrained a safe space where even people make a joke that we're the misinformation podcast. Because I'll be like, Maya, I saw today that like balloons are now made of pigeons. And she'll be like, what? And I'm like, I saw it.
We said last episode that JoJo Siwa shit in a litter box in a furry suit, and it wasn't even true.
I don't know any. I knew like 2 of those words. What is
JoJo Siwa, formerly lesbian, now bi, pop icon.
Of course.
Was on Big Brother.
Okay.
Inventor of gay pop, if you will.
Okay.
Had her ex on her podcast.
Okay.
She put on a furry suit in Big Brother, and she shit in a litter box, but that's not true.
Oh.
She did put on a furry suit. She pretended to pee in a litter box in Big Brother.
Yeah.
I would have believed some uninformed person
and why wouldn't
that was true, right?
Why wouldn't they?
And I would have left the comments saying like God is good or whatever people leave. They're like this weird uninformed comments on AI videos. And I would have thought that the rest of my life, unless I come here to get the real news from you guys.
Exactly. But it's funny because sometimes
Pop or whoever that was,
we'll say stuff and then people in the comments will like be like, they were wrong, and we're like, whoopsie.
Yeah.
You know. But like we're trying to make sure it's not about actually important things.
Yes.
But yours is hard because you guys are putting yourself on a pedestal.
Yes.
Not intentionally, but like you're the serious podcast.
Serious topics, yeah.
Yeah.
When I checked on my bank statement the other day, I found out that I was getting charged monthly for the Month of the Nut Club. Month of the Nut. Nut of the Month Club. That's right. That's what it's called because I got it from my dad a few Christmases ago and he's moved since then. And it turns out that person that lives there was just getting nuts every single month. And what the freaking heck? Well, today's sponsor, Rocket Money, came in clutch to help me out. Rocket Money is an all-in-one personal finance app that helps you cancel subscriptions, lower bills, and manage your money better. Rocket Money has helped its customers save up to $740 a year when you use all of the app's premium features. They've also helped customers save over $500 million in canceled subscriptions. Go to rocketmoney.com/wine or click the link in the description to get started for free. You can unlock even more features with premium. Again, go to rocketmoney.com/wine or click the link in the description. Thanks, guys. Let's get back to whatever Maya was saying.
Why did you want to be a part of that?
Boy, this is so much more serious than I was expecting.
I'm sorry, we're gonna have fun soon. I'm just curious.
It's fine.
I wanted to ask you about
I think this stuff is interesting. First off, cheers to this really great conversation.
Yummy.
That was such a big sip.
This is the thing. I will say, I am a fan, so I did get you a backup soda. So let me go grab it.
Yeah, you want a Red Bull or something?
Nah, I'm trying to cut down on caffeine. Otherwise, I would.
I want to apologize to you, Doug, because before we started filming, I talked about not having my coochie out, and I realized once we started filming, I'm just like in the podcast motions, and I don't think we've ever really talked like that. I think the times that we've talked in person, we've had very like business casual conversations.
I guess.
Like we're just like, oh, hello, I love what you do. It's how is Texas? How's the weather?
Yeah, but
How
I
are
feel
your
like
kids?
the default for people who are in content creation and streaming on Twitch is that we're kind of degenerate.
Yeah. And it's also very parasocial. I have this problem with other streamers. It's like, I don't know you very well, but you walk in here, I'm like, it's Doug.
Right. Yeah, that's the other thing. You just assume there's this level of familiarity because you're like so public. It's very strange.
Yeah. So, Doug and I have talked about my coochie because we're really close. We go way back.
Yeah.
I've got a bottle opener on the way, but I got this specifically for you.
That's nice. Oh.
This is always ask for Avery's Trump Tonic. Good. Sour grape soda made with 100% recycled candidates.
You're welcome.
Thank you. How did you know?
I just knew.
How did you infer from the bacon and the podcast that this is the type of drink I usually have?
I just thought
really
you would
good
like
for him.
it.
This looks like 100 years old.
What? It's not.
I guess it couldn't be, but...
Are you excited?
So excited.
Do you want to take a picture holding it?
You said it here first, guys. He's excited about this soda.
Yeah, this will be the thumbnail for the hate video.
No, it's not that one. It's a different one. Is it the Trump? Yeah, surprisingly, he didn't finish the bacon one. And then will you close it?
So what we'll do, I'll finish mine, we'll pour these out. That way we can all try the Trump soda.
Ooh, that...
Oh. No. We could just.
We can all just take a.
You can't do it
swig.
with your teeth, pretty boy.
Can I do it with
Don't,
against the
don't,
table
don't.
like a frat
You can
bro?
try, yeah.
It's not gonna work on that table.
Though I do. Don't. This is.
It's not gonna work.
Oh my god! Ow. Okay, you looked cool.
Okay, that's so much better. Oh
Really?
my God. It just tastes like soda. That tastes like burnt. This tastes just like
It
grape
doesn't
soda.
Tastes like Trump's asshole.
Like I said, it
They
tastes
do
like
so good with
soda.
their flavoring.
Oh, that is actually so
That was
nice.
kind of like a. Are you a party guy?
He's
No.
endorsed it.
I was in college, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you a frat guy?
Yeah.
No, you weren't.
Yeah.
What frat?
Teak.
No.
It's not one of the cool ones.
Wait,
Yeah.
you know the teak?
Well, okay, all right, hold on. Let me to the like 5 frat bros who were like, "What?"
No, shout out to
every-
the betas.
Yeah,
The
every-
beta theta fetas.
Every single campus has like different. Every frat is like a different thing. Like
Right.
whatever is like Sigma Chi in one school has no relation to another. in
Yeah,
another
of
school.
course. Yeah.
So like mine was cool and fun. I liked it. It was
Okay.
people like me who are like want to do silly, interesting things and also like work hard, play hard people, not just degenerate misogynists.
That was
So,
the Sigma Chi
yeah,
in
yeah.
my area.
Yeah. There's always a bunch of
They were the degens.
right. There's always a bunch of degens, and I think it depends on the school. Like some schools are like it's just straight up party and
Yeah.
and fuck. But depending on the school, then it's more like because like I went to a big
He's okay.
I
You're
went
okay.
to a big public school, and
fine.
the reason I joined a frat I had no interest in at all was because I like couldn't find anybody to like connect with or hang out with, and so like trying clubs and stuff, and then started walking around frats and I was like, wait, these are people I actually like and want to spend time with. So
Right.
it ended up being really valuable. But on the surface, it's like, yeah, frats are pretty obnoxious a lot of the time. Yeah. But I did drink a copious amount of alcohol for a couple of years.
Did you have to go through pledging? Mm-hmm. Did you get hazed?
Not really. We did like fun again. It was like funny stuff, and then
Okay.
like I turned around once I was in the frat, and then would start all these weird traditions that I thought were funny, like
Okay.
running naked through campus towards the
Oh.
end of the semester. But I did it with the pledges, right?
I see.
Or it was like, hey, to do like our interview thing throughout the semester, you have to bring me a fruit. But it can't be a fruit anybody else has ever brought me. So I had to like, go into like
Oh
Chinatown
my
and find a
God.
durian or a
Yeah.
star fruit or like
Yeah.
get really creative with fruits. And then it becomes this fun like bonding thing. So
I'd bring
for
a
me,
juicy fruit,
Yeah. Is that a thing?
like this fruit snack. Genius.
I would have rejected that.
Really?
I would have booted you out of the frat. Yeah.
Ew, you're annoying. That's what I would say. What the heck? I was so creative.
No, I would accept it. So for me,
Okay,
it was like
that
a
was
fun
quick.
opportunity to.
You need to learn how to stand your ground.
Yeah,
Doug.
back in the frat. That's crazy.
I don't know if you would have lasted.
Oh, he's back.
We were
Being
kind of
an
cool.
asshole.
What the freak? I am cool. What'd
Do you think
do?
that we're cool?
What plays did you do?
Yeah, we threw on an awesome
Pippin?
Wicked show
Yeah,
as
okay.
pledges. Yeah,
That's huge. Okay.
I was Billy Elliot. Yeah.
Oh
I starred,
wow,
right.
that's incredible.
We went to every sorority and performed Billy Elliot. Yeah.
Just you did like the James Corden like in the street. You ring the doorbell and just like do it.
God.
No, that's my frat.
Minutes ago, Cutie asked why you wanted to do the podcast.
Oh, sorry.
And then something else happened, and you never answered the question.
Oh, I, at the risk of sounding like a tech bro douchebag, particularly off the back of saying I was in a frat,
I'm looking for capital gain.
I have become increasingly interested in tech, and I think AI kind of kicked that off, but I've started to learn more and more about what's actually going on in technology and AI, and I have become more convinced that it is genuinely going to massively improve people's lives.
Whoa.
So, and I
Wait,
think
an
from
optimist.
yeah, and most
Okay.
people don't think that. Most people are like, AI is fucking annoying right now. AI art is killing people's jobs. It's going to suck. It's going to make corporations even wealthier, which are all valid concerns. But then I think the upside, which isn't understood by a lot of people, is massive. For example, what it's doing to the biomedical industry and the ability to treat cancers or improve cancer treatments or stroke or like AlphaFold is a program by DeepMind from Google that is now able to model the 3D structure of proteins, and that in turn is like one of the biggest scientific breakthroughs of the generation. Nobody knows about that.
Yeah, interesting.
And that is like, we might cure Alzheimer's in our lifetime because of that. We might cure all of these things because of that, because of this immensely complex problem that AI has. Instead of it taking years to figure out the 3D structure of a protein, basically by guessing and checking, we can do it in minutes. So it's like the level of, like, we might literally cure all diseases in the next few decades, or at least
Wow.
almost all of them.
Yeah. So it's the new ones that pop up from
Microplastics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even that, ironically.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're like learning. So AlphaFold could. Anyway, there's a whole list of things, right? So there's things
No,
like
it's
in biology. There's things like I think it will help with equality around the world of people in impoverished areas having access to tools that allow you to understand any language and translate to anybody, to set up businesses, to do creative work, to do all these, give you all these tools that allow any person to pursue things that they're interested in a way that right now there's an enormous amount of inertia between a person's ideas and what they can do, particularly if they're in like a disadvantaged place.
Right.
So I think there's an enormous amount of good that'll come from AI. Also things like helping unlock unlimited energy and all this stuff. So very optimistic, but I'm one of the people who believes, having just learned a lot about it, that this is in the matter of like 10 to 20, like our lifetime.
Right.
Not science fiction. And
wow. Okay. I didn't know that. This is my first time hearing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that vein, I have become increasingly led to believe like this is one of the most important things of humanity, maybe, certainly of our generation.
Okay.
It's like that big of a deal. It's going to make that much of a difference. Probably will extend all of our lifespans substantially. And everybody thinks it fucking sucks.
Wow,
and I would
okay.
like to be a voice to advocate for like, hey, there are a lot of really serious downsides and challenges. That's all real. But the upside is so insanely high. I think it's
Yeah.
inevitable either way. We can dive into this stuff you guys want or
fair.
not.
No,
There's
I find
no
it
way it's
fascinating.
stopping because
Yeah.
every country is incentivized to pursue this stuff because if they fall behind, they're basically screwed.
Yeah, it's the new space race.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so no country on earth wants to be behind. So it's going to advance anyways. And then the question is, how can you advance it and talk about it and understand it in a way of doing it responsibly with like government supporting / regulating what companies are doing, how international agencies interact with each other, all this stuff. And I would rather talk about that and be optimistic about it and not like me personally change everything, but at least be a voice because I feel like our generation is not really talking about this. That is actually as cheesy as it sounds, the motivation.
Okay, white boy.
Yeah.
Pop off. He's so passionate about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me
Wow.
when I talk about Taylor Swift.
And that's also why when we talked about housing, which I don't think is that big of a San Francisco housing, which is not that big of a deal by comparison, I was like, oh, okay, I need to like change how I talk about stuff.
Right,
you know?
right. That's interesting.
Lots
I mean,
of trial and error.
yeah, everybody, yeah. I mean, also, there's times, I think just more and more. When you stream, have you, like, what's the biggest pushback you've ever gotten from streaming?
That's what I asked him earlier, and he was like, nothing, I just play games.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, to be a
I like
man.
don't get political or talk about serious stuff really.
Me neither.
And so
And I'm racist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You save your racism for the podcast. I'm trying to do
Well,
the
yeah.
same with my podcast.
Okay.
Where like these are very, very intense, serious topics, and like when you're talking to somebody and saying, I think AI can be really great, and they're like, AI is threatening my job right now as a trucker or as a coder or whatever. It's
Yeah.
like that's a very intense conversation. And so I've tried to keep my like solo content always apolitical because I just don't I feel like it's just like a good, let's just have it be a fun time. And then this project is in part like, okay, serious discussion place. So I just like, how angry is somebody really going to get when I played Skyrim and I like messaged Point
Yeah.
Crow and was like,
Yeah.
you're a bitch. Like,
Yeah.
who, the person who gets upset at that is like, I don't care about that
Yeah.
person's opinion, but it's a
I would
little
get
different.
really mad at that. I really like Point Crow.
I know there was one person, Maya Higa, in the comments who just kept
I don't
spamming.
with Point Crow, you should have been meaner. I think he's a pussy ass bitch.
I was mean.
I like that guy.
Good.
I do like Point Crow.
So, frat boy, degenerate frat boy turned tech bro.
Very unique combo.
Wow.
That is crazy.
Interesting.
I'm like the most stereotypical. I like went to college in Northern California and then worked in Silicon Valley, and I was like, anyway, it's like all the most
Where'd you go to
generic.
college?
Berkeley.
I went to Cal Poly.
Oh
So,
shit, nice.
Where'd you live in the Silicon? We don't have to
Squeaks
dox
wanted to go
ourselves.
to Berkeley.
It wasn't smart enough for us.
Yeah, that's
went to
what
Davis like a
his
bitch.
parents said too.
I grew up in the Silicon Valley.
Oh, you did?
Also, yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, nice.
Yeah. Wow, we have a lot in common.
Damn.
I also was in a frat.
Nice. Which frat?
I'm lying.
She wasn't. She does that for attention.
Sorry.
But can you just like say a frat so I can react like you did?
Beta Theta Pi.
Teak.
Ew.
Oh,
He said
Beta Theta
teak.
Pi Teak.
Pi Teak. Beta Theta Pi Teak.
I did attend a lot of frats. I went to a party at UC Berkeley one time.
Which frat?
I don't know. It wasn't frat. It was
Oh.
a house party.
Oh.
I drank a lot of tequila. It was
Oh.
bad. Can you tell us about the drunkest you've ever been, Doug?
No, because I was too drunk to remember.
That's what a lot of people say. That question.
That's a stupid question. We gotta
It
pick
is
a new
a stupid
question.
question. It's their dumbest question.
That's good for somebody who didn't drink that much. It's not that good for somebody who drank a lot.
You ever butt chugged?
No.
You ever stuck it up your coochie?
No. Does that work the same
wanna
way?
try today?
Am I allowed to talk about penis? on this show?
Yes. No.
So what would happen if you went up the urethra with alcohol?
I think.
Would you get drunk?
I don't
Would you
think
die?
So.
You're the science guy.
I don't think you would get drunk.
Have you never had to like shelter a poor animal who urethra chugged?
I think that you would burst your urethra.
No.
Urethra?
Haven't you heard of sounding?
Yeah, people put stuff up
do
there.
That.
Oh yeah.
Yes. You could find a really small funnel or a needle.
You'd get an infection. It is alcohol. Maybe you wouldn't get an
alcohol.
infection.
Because people do vodka. I don't know who people are, but vodka soaked tampons.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but putting it up your vagina is very different from putting it up your urethra.
Yeah, because
aren't they just like? Isn't a
they're
penis just an
different holes.
inverted?
Different. Your pee hole is different than your
Urethra is
vagina
different from the vagina hole, though.
And you have a
Urethra hole is
butthole.
very small, and vagina hole is like pretty like sizable.
That doesn't sound right to
We
me.
got a lot of holes down there. You should tell those other lemonade people about it.
Hole's a hole. Okay, I feel like we're complicating things here.
They'll go crazy with that stuff if they find out
Patreon
about the
episode.
holes.
We all urethra chug.
I don't want a urethra chug, but I will put it up my vagina.
I won't.
Okay, double Patreon combo episode.
Okay.
Everybody, you pick. Maybe like the audience votes on an orifice, and
Okay.
some sort of alcohol goes in there.
Okay. I hope they don't do like nose. That sounds the worst one.
That does not sound like the worst one.
It's
What?
so much better
Urethra's
than
way worse.
than my
burn.
urethra.
Really?
Jesus
Yes.
Christ!
Your nose would burn.
Urethras are cutie. Urethra is so small.
Are you like not
It would hurt
sensitive
so
about your
bad.
private parts? Like the idea of shoving things into your penis is one of the most horrific things I can imagine.
No.
And the idea that you're like, nah, I'd rather.
Put it
Nose
up my
sounds
nose.
so bad. It's
It
like, what do
burn.
you?
I get sinus issues. Ouch.
But like, I.
You ever seen
I
this
think
podcast,
you-
Doug?
You ever watch women?
Do you ever listen to us?
Do you think we should vote?
And if not, is it because we're women?
Yeah, I'm just I can't dispel the myth that women poop or have vaginas or.
I put on a furry suit and I was on Big Brother and I pooped in a litter box.
I've heard that. That is true.
I agree. So you've never watched one about it?
No, I've seen like clips, but not an entire
Okay,
episode. Sorry,
that's fine.
It's not.
No, it's fine. I've
Sorry.
watched
Here's what I'll say.
Lemonade Stand.
Here's
but-
what I'll say. I don't sit around watching podcasts and I was like, whine about it's not for me. I just
Right, right,
don't
right.
have time to listen to podcasts really.
Right.
So, no, but I've seen clips.
What does your day-to-day look like?
I have sleeping problems, so I sleep in really late.
Me too. Insomnia?
The opposite. I sleep and then when I wake up, I don't feel rested, so I need to sleep more. So I end up,
Do you have sleep apnea?
yes.
Do you have a machine?
Yeah, it's long. Yes and no. Yeah,
This is a podcast. I can talk about it.
yeah, but it's like I was diagnosed. Better phrase, it's just like some sort of like chronic undiagnosed thing. So sleep apnea was like my brain was positive for sleep apnea, but there was
Weird.
no breathing problems.
Weird.
So after researching it, which I had to do because my doctor didn't help me with it,
Boo.
was like, I basically went to him and I was like, I'm not having breathing problems at all. So like, why would I have sleep apnea? It's like, well, sleep apnea can count as sleep apnea if your brain wakes yourself up, not a breathing thing waking yourself up. So
Okay.
my brain wakes me up every 6 minutes apparently out of like deep sleep.
Every 6 minutes.
Why does
Yeah.
your brain hate you? Why does it do that?
I think it wanted me to be a podcaster and was unfulfilled up until that point. But yeah, I mean,
So
for
it
real,
doesn't
it's basically
happen
been
anymore.
like mental health is basically what I've worked on the
Yeah.
last like 5-6 years. And that's like helping, I think. So
Really?
a little bit. Yeah.
You got depression?
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Mostly a lot of anxiety though. I was like super, super anxious.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Would you tell your first like panic attack story?
I don't. It's like I don't have panic attacks as much as just like severe anxiety about everything. And there's been like suicidal things, but
Yeah.
it's hard to describe a panic attack if your baseline of anxiety is a 7 or 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
It goes up to a 9 or a 10. That's not like that different.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's not like,
It's just
oh
a little
my
extra
God.
wired that
Right,
day.
right.
Yeah.
You're just like, whoa, okay, I can tell things are different or even worse than normal.
Yeah.
So like now I'm on Prozac. I've been on SSRIs last 2 years. That's helped a lot actually.
Interesting. Okay.
And then I've just been doing like, meditation and mental health work, and I've tried like neurofeedback. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
I did neurofeedback
Yeah.
for like a year.
Did it do anything for you? It did not for me.
It didn't.
Yeah. And she was really confident and made me feel like this is the coolest shit in the world and it's going to do so much. And I was like, I don't think it's doing
Yeah, it
anything.
didn't do anything for
what was
me.
the thing I did?
EMDR.
EMDR.
Oh, that's another one I've heard. I
Yeah.
didn't try
I
that one,
love
though.
EMDR. EMDR has absolutely worked for me.
What
I
is
don't
it
know if
again?
it
That's
has
not.
for me.
Does that
Bilateral
involve an EEG?
stimulation.
I movement desensitization reprocessing.
Yeah.
It's like it can happen in a lot of ways. It's stimulating the like lateral sides of your brain, and you can do it with like buzzers in your hands, or like your therapist can tap your knees, or you can follow someone's finger, and then you just like reprocess memories.
Huh. Interesting.
It's weird.
Is it involved in EEG, like on your head, or is it just...
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I remember looking into that when I started neurofeedback, but then I just started like trying to make my life a little healthier.
Yeah.
In terms of like hiring people and delegating and all that stuff.
EMDR I think was developed for like PTSD. Neurofeedback, I don't know who that was developed for or when. I think it's like a newer thing. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a version of it for trauma as well. Because then I tried that because the person doing it was like, your brain is basically resisting any changes as though you have trauma. And I was like, I don't think I have trauma, but like, let's send it.
Yeah.
So then we tried the whole trauma protocol for like 3 months, and that didn't do anything. And so for whatever reason, my brain is stuck enough in an anxious loop that it almost it has the resistance to change as though I'm a trauma person, even though I don't have trauma. So it's very strange.
How does your anxiety manifest?
I don't know how similar this is to you guys. I think it's like a nonstop, everything all the time is being analyzed of what will make me safer, and in trying to frame it all as how do I structure everything in order to stay on top of things and make sure there's nothing that could possibly be unaccounted for or go badly or do whatever. And then this, of course, translates into bad sleep. Like these obviously fit together.
Right.
And then I sleep bad. And I'm like, oh God, I'm not gonna have as much time today. I'm not as well rested.
I'm gonna feel horrible today. I better get sleep tomorrow. And that's all you think about. I hope I can sleep well tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. So those like stack on themselves a lot. But I think I actually it like kind of manifests in autistic symptoms.
Yeah.
And I actually got tested for autism last year because I was like, I think I might have autism with like the intensity with which I try to structure and kind of like control how things are going in my life and feeling like I need to be on top of everything. And so I did this, like I paid for this like PhD study, this really legit thing in LA. And at the end of it, she was like, you definitely don't have autism because the types of social like empathy in certain situations that autistic people can't have. You've had some of those in your life. It's just hard for you to get into an environment where you feel comfortable enough to have those. Really what's going on is you're so anxious, you present as autistic. I'm like, oh.
Wow, that's so
cool.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I don't know if is better or worse than, I kind of wanted to be
autistic,
diagnosed.
yeah, because
then it'd be like,
great.
oh, here's a thing. I can tell people about this thing. Whereas anxiety is just a very like broad,
What about OCD?
I don't know. It might be. I haven't tested for it. I would hope that the person would have told me if there was OCD type symptoms. Because this was like $1,800 or something like that. It was a bunch.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was basically like a psychiatrist I had been talking to was like, go for like a really legit person because otherwise you really can't trust it. And so I was like, okay. But yeah, I don't know if that was like only autism or how much of that would have been like, you have ADHD or stuff like that, which maybe it's all mixed in there to some degree.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sure.
I mean, OCD, ADHD, and autism are all like, they say they're like the sisters. And I say that as someone like with like diagnosed hardcore OCD.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I can't, I don't know. When you say what you're saying, I don't know if that's OCD, but there's probably some tendencies.
Probably some out of it. Like my brother has OCD. Like my whole family is extremely anxious. Like everybody's got shit. So it would not surprise me. At this point, I've just been like, the main focus has been on just like try to just make my life feel healthier and less anxious and all that. And it's slowly moving in that direction. So it's good. I'm like cautiously pretty optimistic actually.
That's
like a lot better the past few years than at any other point in life. So
that's incredible. What normal jobs have you worked? This is my question from watching Lemonade. I've watched it.
Oh.
I watched it. It's good.
Who's your favorite of the three?
Aiden.
Yeah.
So
me too. Straight up.
I have to say that. He had a hard day today. Or I would say last week, sorry.
I said he was my least favorite and it made him really sad.
Yeah.
I think he's the soul of it, Like you need him to be there.
He's the glue. He's the peanut butter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it brings it back to a more like human thing of like, yeah, the human spirit. I feel good about this. I want to be friends with Aiden.
Yeah.
I besides like random jobs in high school, like that like minimum wage things you just work for like beer money. I worked as a programmer at Zynga, which made Farmville.
Oh, cool.
And then as a programmer at EA, which makes cool games that everybody loves.
Sims.
which was actually they make Sims.
Yeah.
I don't know how deep in the gamer lore you guys are, but EA is like by
deep in there.
far the most hated video game
people hate
company
it.
because the
Well,
perception is
there's
like they
also
just care about
Blizzard.
money.
I hate them.
Now Blizzard,
Yeah.
who I worked for next, by the way.
Oh, cool.
I went on this spree of just the
Triple
most
threat.
hated companies. Yeah, EA I did. It's funny how unlikable what I worked on was because it was the only job I could get in game development. So EA makes games that like charge people a lot of money that nobody really likes.
Yeah.
It's even worse with their mobile games because they're such blatant cash grabs.
Sad.
So I worked on the mobile games.
Ooh.
But not the games themselves, not like a game that
Like the
people enjoy.
microtransactions?
The microtransactions.
Oh my god, that's
And
so
not
funny.
and not even on a specific game microtransactions. It's not like I'd be like, oh, the Simpsons donut run microtransactions. We were a separate team that made the like shared tools that all of the games used to make microtransactions and track their data. So
Ooh, you worked for the devil.
yeah, so that was really great. And then after a year and a half, I started learning to edit videos in my free time, and I was like, I want to fucking try to be a YouTuber, and then I quit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then I worked in esports for 3 years. So I was like a competitor kind of to the Beyond the Summit guys, which is funny.
Oh.
Wait, pause. You quit. You tried to be a YouTuber, then you quit, or you quit your job?
So I was working at EA. I started to realize like I don't actually want to make games. What I
Okay.
like about games is like the community around them.
Okay.
And was like, wait a minute. Do you guys have an older brother? Either
Yes.
one of you?
Mm-hmm.
Too.
Yeah.
Did you grow up watching them play video games?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Is that a reason why gaming and gaming culture feels somewhat accessible to you?
Yeah.
I
She isn't game.
Yeah.
But yeah,
don't have it.
I grew up playing like,
But even, like-
switching off controllers, playing Crash Bandicoot, and then like Halo was my intro to everything.
My theory is people, literally every single person, including who has an older brother, you like video games more, like watching games more because you grew up
Oh,
watching your older
interesting.
brother. So
Yeah,
like that,
okay.
my favorite memories were like sitting next to him when he played Final Fantasy or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And I didn't play them that much myself. But I realized when I was at EA, not only did I not love the work there, but also I was like, wait a minute, I don't think what I want to do is make games because it's so hard and thankless to be a game developer. Everybody hates you on the internet.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I like the community around gaming. So that's why I wanted to try to make videos or get into streaming or something. So then I quit. I tried making YouTube videos for like 5-ish months.
Okay.
And this is I was living in San Francisco, just like putting out videos, and they weren't doing well, but they were getting attention on the Hearthstone subreddit.
Wow.
Yeah, this is actually the same time that Disguised Toast was coming up in the Hearthstone.
Okay.
He and I were the two content creators that came out of Hearthstone in 2015,
so funny.
where we like blew up
Wow.
thanks to Reddit. But he like leveraged that into an actual thing. Obviously,
Yeah,
he became
yeah.
very successful. It took me a couple years. So we actually got to catch up at the Streamer Awards like 2 years
Oh,
ago
good.
and be like, oh, like we made it.
Yay.
Cute.
Yeah, it was
Shout
cool.
out that award show.
Yeah. And then, so I was doing that. It wasn't like becoming like job level numbers, but it would get like 15,000 views, and like the hardcore Hearthstone people would like it, which happened to include the people running Hearthstone tournaments, who then reached out via a Reddit DM and was like,
Oh my god,
hey,
that's so funny.
hey, I work with ESL working on Blizzard shows. We're looking for somebody to help with our shows this year. Would you be interested? You'd have to move to LA. And I'm like, sure.
Okay.
So I moved to LA. I came and stayed here for 3 weeks at that hotel next to the Hollywood sign on the corner, like
Okay.
Lowe's or something like that. And like did this contract work with them and helped run these Hearthstone tournaments. And they were like, yeah, we want to hire you full time to run Hearthstone shows. And I was like, okay. So I just like pivoted hard out of San Francisco
Okay.
and out of my career, and then came here and started working in esports, running Hearthstone shows. And then basically within 3 months, they had like made me the lead. So I was like the guy leading Hearthstone shows productions by the end of 2016. And like, you know, BlizzCon, the giant like convention. So I like in 2016, 1 year prior, I was unemployed, and then 1 year later, I was the lead producer of the Hearthstone show.
That's
To like
insane.
500,000 people
Yeah.
online, and there's like it's at a convention, so it was wild. And then, so I did that for 3 years, and then I was like, I'm gonna try YouTube again. I quit again.
So what
tried
year
it
is
again.
this?
So in 2016, 17, 18, I did esports.
Okay.
And then 18, I started to like make videos again, and I was like, I think I'm figuring out my own style a little more so this time. So quit my esports job and then started just doing the YouTube thing full time. And I was like, I'm going to do this till I run out of money. And then I'm going to work part time and just see how long I can stretch this. And then after 5 months, one video popped off really hard on YouTube, and then it just blew up and everything went from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I didn't know that. So you started. What made you go to Twitch?
Like
you were posting on YouTube, and what made you be like, I should do this live?
It was like I was doing these gaming challenges. It was like, can I play Zelda by only jumping on my shield or whatever?
Yeah.
And so I just realized, like, wait a minute, that's like a pretty obvious. I could just stream this, right? So
Yeah.
it felt like it wouldn't take a lot of
Double dip.
additional work,
Yeah.
which is obviously dumb, and it did take a lot of additional work. And then over time, after like a year or two, it started to be more like, wait, I want to incorporate the viewers into what I'm doing. And now that's
Yeah.
like essentially what my brand is, which is like having viewers do crazy shit.
Yeah.
And it's all about, and that's why I started programming, is because like, oh, if I program stuff, I can have the viewers get involved and make apps or mods where they're like, causing things to spawn in GTA 5 or
Yeah.
something like that. And so even though I hate programming and quit the industry, I like got wrapped back into it, and now it's
so funny.
really fun because if you're making like awesome little programs for your chat to like interact with that lets them like ban each other or make things pop
Yeah.
up on screen. I have like my own alerts and things, like I can have all this
Yeah, your
custom
stuff's
stuff.
incredible.
Yeah, so there's like this crazy amount of tools and everything, and then I can have AI characters popping in, and like I've made all of it from scratch largely. And now programming is like, holy shit, this is really fun. And then that's what I mean when I'm like accidentally a tech person, because I had no interest in this. I literally quit the industry, and now somehow I'm like circling back, and people who talk to me like at meet and greets are like, you inspired me to start programming. And I'm like, what the like
That's so
don't even like
funny.
it.
right, it's like, it's so weird. And then there's a part of me that's like, I'm sorry, man, you're gonna go end up working at EA and you're fucking hate it because you think programming is awesome because of
Yeah.
what I'm doing, and it's like, that's not really what it's like in the real world. But
You get to play in the field, but
yeah,
most people have to.
I get to romp around.
Yeah, you get a splish splash.
Yeah, programming professionally sucks because like 10% of the work is making the thing, and then 90% of it is just like testing it, getting other people reviewing it. You're sending it to a QA team. They're sending it back. Oh, there's like 3 obscure bugs that you now need to spend a week figuring out why those things happen. It's so little about the like creative vision. Same with esports, or
Yeah.
as you know,
Yeah.
with show production, right?
Yeah.
The amount of like when you think about what you creatively want to do at the Streamer Awards. Versus the amount of time that is just getting the creative thing done.
Yeah.
At least for me, it was like 10% creativity, 90 logistics.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was really frustrating. And so now I try to have it be like 90% creativity and then just say fuck it to the logistics. And so I do everything wrong with programming.
Oh,
like,
interesting.
You're not supposed to, like, you're
You just wanna
supposed to
get it
use
done.
GitHub. You're supposed to have these
Yeah.
various like archetypes of how you organize file structures and whatever else. And I ignore all of it and just try to make it fun.
This is the worst question, but like I'm genuinely curious, and you might not have a good answer. But how do you come up with your ideas? Because you got some wacky stuff.
It just happens.
It just happens.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
You bitch.
I just one of those brains. It just
You
happens.
bitch.
I'm just
He's
full of
just
ideas.
a creative genius.
You're just laying in bed and it pops into you.
You know what it is? Usually a shower. That's when I have the
Really?
best ideas. It's like, because it's not when you're focusing on it, right? You like
Yeah.
inundate your brain with ideas. You like just expose yourself to a bunch of videos or ideas or whatever, and then I'll like be on a run, and then like go
Mine's
running.
driving.
You're like, write it down, write it down, write it down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's always while I'm driving.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I didn't know that.
What about you?
Me? Mm-hmm. I mean, mine is usually right before I fall asleep.
Then something pops in your head.
So annoying. Yeah, and then sometimes I'll be like, I'll remember this tomorrow. I don't, because I'll be too lazy to get up and
Yeah.
write it.
Do you ever dream
But-
one?
You
You like wake up and you're like, wait a minute, this was happening in a dream.
Funnily enough, one time I had a dream that I was backstage at the Grammys, and Olivia Rodrigo took me over to her journal, and she was like, look at this song I wrote. And I woke up this next morning and I was like, that song's a banger. And I called Benny Blanco. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and she ripped it.
But I wrote it down on my phone really quick, and so now I have my dream Olivia Rodrigo song that she wrote. It's in my phone. I haven't
Came to her in a
done
dream.
anything with it. Yeah.
Your lash
That's
is like falling off. Do you want me to
Is
fix
it?
it? Yeah, this is like off of your eye.
We'll just rip it off. It's fine.
Okay.
You can't tell. That's funny. Thanks, Doug. You didn't say anything.
Yeah, that's really messed up.
I wouldn't on International Women's Day.
You're not a girl's girl. It's not International Women's Day.
Every day is International
Doug,
Women's
do you think
Day.
you're a bit of
Wow.
a pick me?
Yeah. Yeah, Doug. Name a woman you hate.
Olivia Rodrigo?
Oh, that was great.
Doug.
Why?
Her music.
Why?
Is she even a musician? I'm not kidding. I don't know who this is.
You're like Maya for white men. You're mad that we did the 100 Women Challenge.
It did expose me a bit.
Ooh.
Doug walked in. He was like, "Today on the podcast, I'm gonna make you guys name 100 men." We're like, "Okay."
That's so easy.
Gordon B. Hinckley.
How did you have that idea? The
Joseph
name 100
Smith.
women.
I
He's a
stole it
genius.
from a man, of course.
Really?
Yeah.
That's where all the good shit comes from.
It was Gappy V. Shout out Gappy V.
Name 100 ideas you've stolen from men.
Have you heard of the Oscars? Here we go. No, Gappy V would do it on stream sometimes, and which is crazy because I'm pretty sure he did it multiple times, which is you would think you'd get better at it.
Yeah.
But he would do a speed run, and I remember I think I was in his chat, and I was like, "This is funny. I'm going to do this." And then I did it, and then everyone started doing it, and then I kind of felt bad because Gappy V is a small streamer, and everyone was giving me credit, and then I was like, "No,
you did give him credit though."
I know. I feel like
nice.
I've tried to give him credit, but it is funny because people say it's my idea, and I'm like, I don't know. It's Gappy's. It's Gappy. He's a man.
I would have felt so bad if I was last place.
No.
Point Crow was last.
Yeah,
That's
no. Super TF couldn't even finish.
That's so
Really?
funny.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
he could not finish.
Okay. All right. I feel less bad. Point Crow was like 43 minutes, I want to say, and I was
Yeah.
like 33.
Yeah,
Is your audience? Are there any women?
There's a lot of trans women.
Oh, it's like
that's hype.
On YouTube, it says 90% men, 10% women. So
Oh, okay.
not a great ratio,
Okay.
but if there's 3 million subscribers, that's 300,000 women. That's great.
We've got to do some girly pop talk then, because like, let's get you some women right now.
Have you ever met a female viewer in person?
Yeah.
Have you ever met a
Okay.
woman?
Today?
Do you know what that means?
Who?
What's a period?
It's
What
something
size
with the
do
urethra.
tampons come in?
I don't know that.
Guess.
Probably Magnum.
Okay.
That's funny.
You're so male.
I'm having a
XL.
bit of a Magnum period this week. You gonna give me a Magnum
Trojan.
period? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. What are they? I don't know.
Regular.
Okay.
light,
Light, regular,
super,
super plus, ultra.
And that's size going up in size, I assume?
Yeah, for the size of your hole.
Ah, wow.
No, Doug, they're all the same size. It's
Oh.
absorbency.
Oh.
Yeah.
Some of them are a little bigger,
Don't,
for sure.
I mean, vaginas have different sizes.
Yeah, but it's
Well,
not
yeah,
like,
but you don't do it based on your size.
Yeah,
okay.
you do it based on your flow.
I mean, imagine like right after giving birth, you have to put just like some rolled up towels.
You gotta wear diapers after you give
Respectfully,
birth.
yeah.
You know, girls tear from their into their butthole.
Yeah, giving birth sounds horrific. I think it's fair to say that women got the worst end of the deal in a lot of biological.
Talk
Like
to 'em.
periods are fucking crazy,
Yeah.
and birth sounds horrific.
Do you think
Talk to
AI
'em.
could fix that?
No, but I think
That sucks.
I think in our lifetimes.
It could help the whole weird health discrepancy where women were just never studied.
Oh,
Is that
Oh.
true? Have you heard that?
that's in the animal kingdom too. People know a lot about animal penises and not a lot about animal vaginas.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of annoying.
I mean, yes is the
myself.
answer in theory. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, AI.
Yeah.
What was
Saving
your,
the world,
What was
one.
your first kiss? I'm getting you, girl audience. Tell us,
God.
Let's do girly
no,
pop.
No, it's real bad.
It hasn't
Okay.
happened yet.
No, it was bad, man.
You gotta tell us. It's girly pop time.
Ugh.
Yippee! Set the scene.
I was a late bloomer in high school, so I didn't go. I went through puberty like crazy late, so
Okay.
it caused a bunch of like insecurity in high school and whatnot. So I was like 5'4" until
Imagine.
I was like senior year.
Did you have a hot boy summer where you came back senior year and then you were like tall?
that? Except going into college, not
Okay.
into
Damn.
yeah.
That would have been, it's cool. It was cool in high school, and all of a sudden, senior year, you go back and just one person's just like way hot, and you're like, what happened?
Yeah, I
But
think
it's
I
okay.
would.
College is still a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I went from like 5'4" to like 6 foot or something in
Jesus
like a year.
Christ.
But
Ow! Did that hurt? Did you have to eat a lot of bananas?
no, it was awesome.
It didn't hurt.
No, I mean it didn't happen in one day. Like I didn't get like stretched like a
I
torture
had
device.
growing pains growing up. It hurt real bad.
Yeah, I agree.
But you've rarely
Sometimes I
grown at
still
all.
get
That's
'em.
crazy.
That's
That's crazy. I grew a lot since I was a baby. I had to eat a lot of bananas. I would wake up in the middle of the night. I would cry because I was having growing pains. My mom would
too.
force feed me a
when
banana.
you grew from
Yeah.
5'2" to 5'4".
No, when I grew from like baby size to 5'2".
How quick? That's over like 15
It
years.
is crazy that you're complaining because we're both way taller.
It hurt.
She
I
has
don't
a
know
low
what to
pain
tell you.
tolerance. She has low
It's
pain
true.
tolerance.
Okay. Let's move on from the first kiss thing. I feel like that's nobody wants to hear about.
Wow, he doesn't want to talk about it.
It's just like so.
You don't have to.
So
you
I was
don't
at-
have to. I don't want to pressure you.
No, it's fun. Like it's just one of those things. Where you're like, oh man, we're so dumb and embarrassing when we were younger. So
Yeah.
I went with friends to a club in like San Francisco, I want to say, or something like that. And then we were all hanging out, and there's a girl who I started dancing with, and she was like into me. I don't even remember how this happened. And then I think we just started making out or something, and I had no idea what I was
And
doing.
you just
What's
freaking,
wrong
that's
with that
baptism by fire.
story?
And then she was like, "Oh yeah, you've done this." She said something like, "Oh, like, are you on drugs or something?" I think she might have been like, "Are you on ecstasy?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then
That's incredible.
and so we just kept
so funny.
And so in retrospect, like I'm like, that's what's so weird. It was not only I had no idea what I was doing, and then she turned around and was like, "You're on drugs, right?" And I'm like, "Yes." Is that what I should say here? I don't know
what I would say.
And so that was my very romantic first kiss in a club with a person who I could barely see, who thought I was on drugs, I guess.
Sad.
And then we made out for like 10 minutes or
so
something.
you're married now?
Yeah, now. And that sprouted
is
into a
happiness
beautiful
ever after?
relationship.
That's not that bad.
And I never spoke to her again, but maybe one day
Do you
the
miss
stars. I only when I'm on drugs. Only when I recreate the
They
experience.
remind me of her.
Yeah.
I wonder, she probably watches Wine About It. All girls do.
Hello.
She'll reach out.
Miss
There
you.
was a guy I
We
made out with
miss
10 years ago.
you.
Yeah.
We miss you.
Do you do a lot of drugs, Doug?
No, not really. I did in college to experiment, but I did like I've tried mushrooms, LSD, and I did ecstasy for a bit. But ecstasy, I don't know if you guys, if you don't want to talk about it, I don't know if you.
What? We
I
talk about
fingered
everything.
MDMA one time.
You what?
I took a little bit of MDMA one time.
Okay.
Yeah. We
Have
talk
you?
about everything. No, I grew up Mormon, so.
Okay.
You know, the hardest thing I did? Watch an R-rated movie.
Ooh.
So,
Which one?
Well, freaking Exorcism Emily Rose. That shit fucked me up.
Wow. Yeah, that
I went
is
off
scary.
the deep end. I didn't just watch like porn. I watched Exorcism Emily
Damn.
Rose.
The
messed
only
up.
thing more intense than that is ecstasy.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, ecstasy, I don't recommend. Not only is it not good for your brain, but like, don't recommend if you're a really anxious person. Because I remember when I first took it, I was freshman year at college, and I was like, this is the first time in my life I felt happy. And I was like, oh no. And then like the come down the next day, you're like, oh, I need that again. And so I was like, I was very into it for, I mean, I only did it like 12 times, but it's enough of like, that's concerning. And then fortunately for me, it just stopped working completely, which happens to some
that's
people.
sick.
Oh,
So I was like
is
very grateful for that. Cause it's not good when you have like crippling anxiety. And then there's a drug
interesting.
that is like, not only makes you feel absolutely incredible, and it's the only time you've ever had reprieve from anxiety, it also then makes you feel horrible the next couple days, like by comparison, and
you
because
need, like, rebound.
it's spent all the serotonin in your brain, right? That's the whole thing it does. So
Yeah.
it's like super bad. Yeah, I haven't done drugs since really. It's like, yeah,
It's funny because I've always been too anxious to try drugs.
that makes
it's
sense.
interesting that you're like ready.
I think we both have like some control issues. I wouldn't like being trapped in a high. I think that's what would stress me out. It's like if I didn't like it, I would be like, no way, I can't get myself out of this, and then to have to sit in it would drive me crazy.
Yeah, so like I did mushrooms and that same thing. I was like, this is way too much. And then, like 2-3 hours later, it kind of comes down. So then my friend was like, hey, do you want to try acid this summer? I was like, sure, fuck it. I want to like see what it's like.
Yeah.
So we both did a thing of acid, and then we walked into like the Berkeley Hills, and we were walking around and just started tripping insanely hard. And it is kind of what it sounds like. It's like totally crazy visuals, but also you can't even like hold on to your thoughts. Like they start like,
I hate that.
you try to think about a thought, and then you feel it slipping away, and you're like, I'm lost. And so that happened for like 2 or 3 hours, and I was like, wow, that was really intense. We started to kind of come down. So now instead of a 10 out of 10, it's like an 8. So we're like, I can function. We can talk to each other again. I can say words. We're like, oh my God, okay, that's been a lot. It's like 3 hours. I'm exhausted. And that's when I learned that acid lasts about 15 hours. And
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, or at least the acid we took. But my understanding is across the board, it's way long.
Oh my
and
God.
so it's what you described for another 12 hours. And it was horrifying. Like so I've never done it again because I was just despised that feeling. It was exactly what you said of like, I'm done. I want to be done. And then people being like, no, man, you have another
my
10 to 12 hours to go.
I did not know that.
We should get a bunch of ketamine for the Patreon app.
Ugh.
Do you want to do ketamine with us?
I've actually done a lot of ketamine
Really?
What?
recently.
Oh.
That's a whole...
For ketamine therapy?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a whole other thing. Yeah.
Yeah, do you like it? I've heard mixed on it.
Uh,
I've heard people say it changed their life, but like also changed their life in a way that's like,
it was extremely positive for me. So I did it probably like 25 times, and that was like a year and a half to 2 years ago, like once every week or two. And so for context, this is a drug that you can get medically prescribed.
This is
not
he's
me
not
just
doing
like
the cool ketamine.
yeah, I'm not just like
unfortunately.
doing it. So you like, and what you can do now, there's clinics where you get injected or like IV, or there's take home like lozenges that you just do at home. And I was like, the idea of going to a clinic and being high was like, no fucking way. That sounds terrifying.
That's so funny. I'm the opposite. If I were
Really?
because I've looked into ketamine, and I would only want to be with a doctor.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. That's so
I was like,
funny.
the idea that somebody is watching me while I'm high would like trigger all the feelings of like, I'm not safe. This is bad. I need to freak out. So there's a at-home thing you can take.
Yeah.
And so I tried this, and my experience. So I mean, we already talked about this before, but like the feedback I've gotten from doctors is like my brain is insanely resistant to changing the way it thinks. So it just gets stuck in these anxiety loops.
Yeah.
And that's why people have suggested things. EMDR is for trauma mostly, right?
Yeah.
That's why that was suggested. That's why the neurofeedback thing was suggested of like, but I don't, and then I've looked into this and thought about it, and like I don't have trauma. So it's like I don't know why my brain is stuck in this way.
interesting.
So the point of ketamine in a medical sense is to get your brain to be receptive to new things, and then you build new neural pathways.
Yeah.
So there's the whole thing of like did you know the neuroplasticity thing? It's like, neurons that fire together wire together. That's the thing. Okay. So the phrase is meant to be like, the more your brain thinks in a particular way, it's not just that it's like it feels easier to think about it because you're familiar with it. Your brain literally strengthens the neural pathways that trigger that chain of thought. So if you have the type of reaction to something in your life and you keep having that reaction, you keep doing it over and over, you are literally strengthening that part of the brain and how it reacts. So it's not just like, oh, just think in a new way, like just be happy or whatever. If your brain has like, for whatever reason, like super ultra solidified these certain ways of thinking, treatments that work for other people aren't going to work for your brain. And that's the thinking. And then the pitch is ketamine is it's the equivalent of like a mountain, instead of it being like a ski slope where everything is like packed in and you have the one path. It kind of like allows you to break a new path into a new area of the mountain.
And it quickens it instead of years and years and years of.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it just makes your brain more receptive to new ways of thinking. And then if you reinforce it, then it will actually strengthen. So that was my experience. I don't know if you know of, what is it? The attachment style. So that's about like how you relate to other people and all that. And that's seemingly related a lot to your childhood. So I did a lot of meditations around that while taking ketamine. And it was like really profound.
Wow,
like,
interesting.
Yeah, I would describe myself as like maybe having already shifted attachment styles because of that. And I feel like my brain now has like this very like strong sense of safety as a baseline rather than feeling like I'm drowning in the ocean with no help as a baseline. So I would say like life changing, but I would consider it being as like hugely, hugely helpful for me.
That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we can all do that together.
I mean, it is genuinely something I've looked into. I just I have such a fear of medication. It's bizarre. It's pretty intense. And so I'll do some natural supplements. Like I have a psychiatrist have you ever heard of rhodiola rosacea?
Maybe briefly, but
yeah, it's essentially a plant that helps not serotonin, not dopamine. It's one of the receptors. It helps it. Or no, maybe it is serotonin because you're not supposed to take it if you're on antidepressants because it can give you serotonin.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Whatever it's called. But yeah, it seems to work temporarily. So I'll take it for like a month and I'll feel lighter, and then it'll stop working, and then I will stop taking it, and then another month. So it's like it's an antidepressant kind of on a microdose level to the point you don't have to wean on and wean off. You know, as long as you're taking small amounts. So that seems to be pretty helpful to me. But honestly, like spending the last 3 months in Utah it was so great for me. Just like the quiet, like this industry isn't made for someone that's mentally ill. In fact, it's been like you've seen a lot of people lose their mind because of the space. And so
it's also what draws us to it, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that's sick that you can have tried that because it's something I've always wanted to be like brave enough for, but I haven't. But what a heavy issue heavy episode.
Yeah.
What?
What a good episode. I feel like that's what I was trying to say. I just had a stroke.
Okay,
but I'll be fine. That was awesome. We are going to the Patreon now.
Cool. I have goofy questions to ask you
I know.
guys.
I'm
They get all
sorry.
silly and goofy.
I
Yeah.
absorbed. I took up all your time.
No, this was really good. I had a great
Okay.
time. Yeah.
It's time to get crazy on the Patreon.
We're gonna get crazy. We're gonna take our shirts off.
Yeah.
Like Doug, and insert that DougDoug
I'm going to
clip where he
put
took
this
his shirt
soda
off.
in my urethra.
And then everyone
Yeah.
was like, "Why is DougDoug's boob so big?"
Yeah.
My eyes are up here, cutie.
Sorry.
See you over there. Wait, anything you want to shout
Do you
out?
want to shout out?
Nah.
Lemonade
You
Stand. Check out Lemonade Stand. He has a new podcast. They talk about serious things, unlike us, and they have a lot more information. Unlike
Do you want
us.
to learn about a train? We talk about trains.
Wow.
Are you so anxious that you're autistic presenting like me? Then you're going to love trains.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Check them out.
This is great.
All right.
Thanks for having
See you
me.
on the Patreon.
Yeah.